This conference will now be recorded.
In the last class, let me record this. Oh, we are recording it. In the last class, we started Power Query. Last class is class number 1 in the Power Query. Today's class is what we discussed in the class 1 is we discussed some introduction to Power Query, and then we discussed about Power Query editor user interface, and then we discussed about data processing. Today's class is class number 2 in the Power Query. What we are going to discuss in today's class is we'll discuss about what is data types, how to change the data types, and once after data types concept, we'll talk about filters in the Power Query. Let's open Power Query software. In order to open Power Query software, we need to open Power BI Desktop. Once we double click on it, it will open the Power BI Desktop software. Fine. Once after opening the Power BI Desktop, you just close the welcome screen. From here, how to open the Power Query is go to Home tab, click on Transform Data. I'll bring couple of tables. Click on Excel. From Sample Superstore, I'll bring couple of tables. From EMP DEPT, another Excel, I'll bring some more tables. Okay. In the last class, we know that in the fourth step, what Power Query will do is it will, when you go and select any table, in the fourth step, what is the step name? Change type. It will change the data type of each column. Power Query will read the data in the column. Based on the data we have in the column, it will change the data type. Here, as it have whole numbers, it given the data type as whole number. Employee name, as it have text values, it given the data type as text. Hide date, as it have date values, it given the data type as what? Data. Power Query will read the data in the column and it will change the data type in the fourth step. There are worst cases where this fourth step will not perform. So when you bring the tables, fourth step you are changing the data type, right? There are worst cases this step will not perform. Take an example, you don't have the fourth step. I removed it. When I removed it, for every column, what is the data type you have now? Any. It is not recommended to leave the data type of the column to any, guys. Right? It is not recommended to have data type of the column as what? Any. Why it is not recommended to have the data type of the column as any? We'll see. There are sometimes you'll bring the tables into the Power Query. Power Query where it will not perform this fourth step. What is the step name is change type. So it will not perform. When it is not perform change type, you will have the data type for all the columns as any. For ship date also you have data type as what? Any. What is the problem when you have any data type is, see, in the Excel also you have any data type. The same data type, it is not changing it. If you go here, when I go and open Sample Superstore Excel, when I go and select the orders column, when I go and select this, somewhere we see in general here, when I go and click on general, you are seeing it. What is the data type you have here? General. General, we don't have any data type ABC123. So it is not having any data type. Take an example, it's not having any data type. ABC123 is there. ABC123 means any data type. When you click on close and apply into Power Pivot, you loaded that orders table without changing the data type. Now I loaded that orders table into the Power Pivot. Go to the data view, select the orders table. When you select the orders table, go and check row ID column. What is the data type you have? Text. In Power Query, if you have any data type, when you load that into Power Pivot, for every column it is taking text. For order date also, what is the data? Now I am in the data view. I'm going to order date. I'm seeing the data type. When you are in the data view, you are in which software? Power Pivot. In Power Pivot, what's it? It's a text. Now go to the sales column. What is the data type you have? So when you have any data type in the Power Query, when you load it to the Power Pivot, it is taking what data type? Text. Now my client is asking to create one visual. and they're asking to show sum of sales. In the visual, what they're asking to show here? Sum of sales. How to show the sum of sales is take one card visual, go to the orders table, drag the sales column. When I drag it, now when I go and check it, is it doing sum? It is giving the first sales value. Why it is not doing the sum? Previously, when you drag the sales column, it is supposed to show 2.3 million. Now it is showing 0.44. Why it is not showing 2.3 million? Why it is not doing sum this time? Hmm? Why it is not doing sum means?
Based on the data type.
So sum can be performed on what type of columns? Only number columns. Only number columns we can aggregate it. As it is a text column, it cannot perform what? Sum. That is the reason you are not getting it. When you don't have the proper data type, showing the information is not possible, guys. Now you have order date column. Previously, we are able to show year-wise sales. Now it is not possible. So why it is not possible? What is the data type of this column? Text. So when it's a text column, when I go to order date, you don't find year here. You cannot show year-wise sales. In order to show year-wise sales, the data type of this column should be what? Date. Date. So when you don't have the proper data types to the columns, you'll find challenges while creating the visuals, right? So that is the reason in Power Query, we need to change the data type of the columns. Let me show you how to change the data type of the columns. First, let me show you how to show the sales value, sum of sales. To show the sum of sales, you need to go to which column? Sales column. What is the data type currently? Any how to change the data type is beside the column you'll have a button. Click on that button, you will see the different data types what we have here. So what is the data type you need to take for sales column is decimals, decimal number, right? Just go and click on decimal number. Now what is the data type you have for this column? Decimal number. Then click on close and apply. Now when you go to Power Pivot data view, when I go and check the sales column, what is the data type you have? Decimal number. When I go to report view, when I take one card visual, when I drag the sales, it is showing what now? Sum of sales. Now you are getting expected result, guys, right? Fine. What is data type? What data type means? Data type represents the type. First, let me tell you the definition. The sales column, what is the data type you have? Decimal number. What this data type will tell us is data type will represents the type of information stored in the column. In the sales column, what type of information is there? It will tell us. So data type will tell us what type of information is there in that column. So what type of information is there in sales column? Decimal number. Let's say for order date, you have a date data type. So when I set the order date, you have date data type. This date data type will tell us what information is there in that column, date values. So what is the definition for data type is? Data type represents the type of information stored in the column. Data type tells us the type of information stored in the column. Right. It will tell us what is the type of information stored in the column. Okay. So broadly, you will have three different data types, guys. There are a lot of data types, but majorly you will have three different data types. What are the three data types you will have majorly means? First one is number data type. Second one is text data type. Third one is date data type, guys. When the data type of the column is number, that column will allow only numeric information. It will allow what information? Numeric information. When the data type of the column is date, it will allow only date information. It will allow what? Only date information. When the data type of the column is text, it will allow what? It will allow text information. It will even allow what? Numbers. It will even allow special characters and combination of them and combination of text, numbers and special characters. Understand? When the data type of the column is number, in the number column, can I enter text values? No. In that column, when I try to enter ABC, it will not allow. It will allow only what? Numeric. I have a data type of the column as number. Let's say column 1 is there. We have number data type. Can I go and enter 1 to 3 in that number column? Yes. Can I enter ABC? No. Can I enter special characters like star dollar? No. Can I enter in the combination of numbers and text? No. It can allow only what? Numeric. Let's say you have date column. Date column it can allow only dates like some date, let's say 1st April 2023. It will allow the dates. Can I go and enter some text here? No. Can I go and enter some special characters here? No. It will allow only what type of information? Date. What is the third type of column? Let's say there is column 3. The data type is what? Text. Can I enter ABC under that column? Yes, it will support. Can I enter 1 to 3 under that column? Yes, text column even support numbers also. So can I enter special characters? Yes, it can even support special characters. Can I enter combination of A1 star? Yes, it will even allow the combination of the data. Right? Fine. Like this, we understand broadly we'll have 3 types of columns, data types, and what data they will support, we understand, guys. When Power BI developer is changing the data type of the column in the Power Query, say there are some times I said that this fourth step will not perform. When the fourth step is not performing, who need to change the data type? Power BI developer. How Power BI developer need to change the data type is first you need to read the data in the column and you need to choose the right data type there. So you have whole numbers here. What is the data type you will choose here? Whole number. When beside the column will have a button, click on that button and choose what? Whole number. Order ID column is there. You have alpha, numeric, special characters. Underscore hyphen is special character. Numeric number. So which data type will support this? Can I give number data type? Look at this. When I go and select number data type, what it is telling? Error. So why? Because uh, alpha numeric date number data type can support only what? Numeric. Which data type will support that means text. When it will not throw the error is when you go and select what? Text. Is it throwing error now? No. So like that, based on the data you have in the column, you need to change the data type of the column, guys. Right? First, row ID, whole number. For order ID, text. For order date, date. There is date and time. Only date. You don't have time component here. So you need to select only data. So based on the data we have in the column, we need to choose the data type. So there are many ways to change the data type. One is go to the button and change it. Second one is select the column, right click on it. You'll find change data type here also. You can even choose what here? Date. For ship date, what is the data type of the column? Date. I can right click, change type. I can go and select date. Now this column data type got changed to what? Date. All are same. The third way to change the data type is ship mode. What is the data type? Text. So you can select the column, you can go to data type, you can even choose from here also. When I go and click on text, it change the data type to what? Text. For customer ID, what is the data type? Text. Alpha numeric special characters. So you can click on either a button, you can go to right click or you can choose it, or you can select the column, you can go to data type, you can change it, or in the transform tab also you have data type. From here also you can change it. When I go to data type, here also you have what? Text. All are same. They provided multiple places, same option. All are same. And understand there is even other easiest way to change the data type of the column. I'm removing this step. In one step, you can change the data type of the all the columns at once. What is the easiest way to change the data type of all the columns is currently for all the columns you have data type as ABC1 to 3. ABC1 to 3 means what? Any data type. How to change the data type of the column at once is you just want to select all the columns. Control A will allow you to select all the columns. Once after selecting all the columns, go to the transform tab. In the transform tab, there is a GUI option called what? Detect data type. When you just go and click on detect data type, Power BI will read the data in the each column and Power BI will change the data type of every column at once. Every column at once. When I just go and click on detect data type, for the sales column, what is the data type it given? Decimal number. For quantity column, what is the data type? Whole number. For profit column, what is the data type? Decimal number. For product name column, what is the data type? Text. Is it giving correctly? Yes. Right. Fine, guys. Fine. We understand what is data type, how to change the data type of the column, we understand, right? So once after the data type, what is the next topic we are planning to understand today? Filters. So make sure 99% Power Query itself can transform give the data types. Worst case, for any columns, if Power BI is not giving the data types, you need to change it. So I shown you what is the importance of changing the data type. If you don't change the data types while creating the visuals, you will find challenges, right? Let's talk about filters. Next topic is filters in Power Query. What is the purpose of filters? Generally, in the data terminology, when we will use filters is general. Don't go till Power Query terminology. In the data terminology, when we will go with filters, whenever you have complete data, from that complete data to show subset of data, we'll use filters. Filters are used to show filters are used to show subset of data from complete data, subset of data from complete data. From the complete data, if you want to show subset of data, we'll use filters. Let's say I have 4 regions data here. Out of 4 regions data, I want to show 1 region data. Let's say 4 regions is what? Complete data. To that 4 regions, this 1 region is what? Subset data. From this complete data to show subset of data, which one will help us? Filters. The same filters concept is available in where? Power Query. So in the Power Query also, we have filter concept. What is the purpose of this filters in the Power Query? In Power Query, there is a concept called what? Filters. What is the purpose of that filters is? So into the Power Pivot, we need to bring only the data that is required for what? Analysis. Let's say my client provided one table in the SQL Server called sales table. What is the table name? Sales table. That sales table have 20 years data. How many years sales transactions are there? 20 years. But my client is asking to create the reports on only last 4 years data. How many years data client is asking to generate the reports? He don't want to bother about what happens before 20 years. He want to just see in the last years how their sales values are. Now in the reports you need to show only how many years data? 4 years. But in the source you have how many years data? 20. You have two scenarios here. One scenario is bring the sales table to Power Query, load all the 20 years data. Into Power Pivot also you are loading how many years data? 20 years data. Out of the 20 years data, in Power View also you have a concept called what? Filters. Using the Power View filters, you can show the data in the reports only for how many years? 4 years. That is first scenario. In first scenario, you are applying the filters at what level? Power View level. Second scenario is go and bring the sales table to Power Query. In Power Query also you have a concept called what? Filters. And filter for how many years data? 4 years. And load only that 4 years data into Power Pivot and directly show that 4 years data in the visuals. Reports are visuals. Which one is best? First one and second one? Second one. What is the advantage of second one is? Uh, when you load only data for 4 years, what is the advantage? You will save the space. When you load 20 years data, it will occupy more space. When you load just 4 years data, it will occupy less space. You will save a lot of space on the Power Pivot. Not only that, one is saving the space. Second one is from 20, every time when we open the report, in first scenario, when you open the report will take 20 years data and it will filter the data in the Power View and it will show it. Any filters you applied in the Power View level, that filters will applicable at the time of runtime, opening the report. So taking the 20 years data, filtering the 4 years data, showing the data in the report might take time. When you apply any filters in the Power View, at the time of opening the report, they will execute. So the report will take time to show the data. It need to collect the complete data. It need to filter. It need to show it. So it takes time. When you have only 4 years data, when you show as it is complete data, when I open the report within fraction of seconds, it will show the data. Why it will show the data within fraction of seconds? We don't need to apply the filters. Fine, guys. So these two approaches, one approach, second approach is best. When you see, and even we written here, while bringing the data to the Power Pivot, we need to bring only the data that is required for what? Analysis. What data we need to show in the reports? Only the data we need to bring it. In reports, if you want 4 years data, Power Pivot also need to have what? 4 years data. Remaining all the data you need to filter in where? Power Query itself. So when you filter the data in the Power Query, two advantages of filtering the data in Power Query. First advantage is will save the space in the Power Pivot. Save the space in Power Pivot. Second advantage is report performance will increase. Report performance will increase, guys. Report performance will increase. So any filters, if you are not applying the filter in the Power Query, you need to apply the filter in where? Power View. Understand? Say for some reasons you loaded all the 20 years data, but in the report you need to show only what? 4 years data. Then you need to apply the filter at what level? Power View level. Any filters you applied in the Power View level, they will be executed at the time of opening the report. Any filters you applied in the Power Query level, they will be applied before you create what? OLAP database. That OLAP database you are using for creating the reports. So here it will not, when you apply the filter in the Power Query, it will not execute at the time of opening the report. Report will take the data from where? OLAP. Then if there is any filters here, those filters will be applicable. This will be executed upfront. So that is the reason performance will increase when you apply the filters in which level? Power Query. There are sometimes what happens is, then you might ask me a question, then what is the need of having the filters in Power View? Why not we filter all the time data in where? Power Query. So there are in the projects, client will provide data sources, guys. Clients will provide what? Data sources. Using the data sources, will create what? Data set, or another name is what? OLAP database. That OLAP database we used for creating multiple reports generally. Multiple reports. You will understand this in the coming classes. How we will create using data source a single data set. How that single data set we can use it for creating what? Multiple reports. Generally, in any Power BI project, when client provide the data source, will create how many data sets using that? One data set. Using one data set, you might even create what? 20 reports also. You might even create what? 20 reports. Let's say in every 20 reports, if client is asking to show only central data source contains how many regions data? 4 regions. In all the 20 reports, client is asking to show what data? Central. Now, while bringing the data to the data set, what data we need to bring? Only bring central. So then where we can apply the filters? Power Query level. This scenario, Power Query is best. There is a second scenario. Second scenario is, so client is asking to create 20 reports. Out of 20 reports, 5 reports they're asking to show central data. Another 5 reports they're asking to show east data. Another 5 reports they're asking to show south data. Another 5 reports they're asking to show what data? West data. Now, to create all these 20 reports, you will create what? One data set. Now into the data set, whether I need to bring only central data or 4 regions data. 4 regions data we need to bring it. No doubt we need to bring 4 regions. Why? Because this data set need to support for what? All 20 reports. In this scenario, can I go and apply the filter set Power Query? No, not possible. In this scenario, you need to apply filter set where? Power View level, right? So if any of the report doesn't require the data, best way to filter the data is what? Power Query. When you filter the data in the Power Query, advantage is what? Save the space in the Power Pivot, report performance will increase. There are cases filtering the data in the Power Query is not possible, right? I said it. When filtering the data in the Power Query is not possible means in few reports if you want some subset of data, in another few reports if you want another subset of data, that time filtering the data in the Power Query is not possible. Obviously, you need to filter in where? Power View. Fine. We understand at a high level when we need to go with filters. There are a lot of cases when client provided the data in the data sources, they'll provide complete data. But client will ask you to show only subset of data in the reports. When they ask you to show subset of data, you just go and filter the data in where? Power Query. Let me quickly write that point. So when to use the filters in the Power Query means when data sources contains complete data, when data sources contains complete data, and if you want to load subset of data into Power Pivot, if we if we need to load subset of data into Power Pivot, we will use what? We'll use what? To load the subset of data into Power Pivot, we'll use what? Filters in Power Query. When data sources contains complete data, from the complete data, if you want to load what? Subset of data into where? Power Pivot. Which one will help us means filters. Right. This is the purpose of filters in the Power Query. Let me show you practically. Let's take an example. My SQL server contains, or else my Excel file contains 4 regions data. 4 regions data. In the report, they are asking to show only central data. In order to show in the report only central data, one way what I can do is I bought the orders table, guys. Currently in the orders table, how many regions data you have? 4. When I go and click on close and apply, how many regions data it will load into Power Pivot? All 4. If you go and check orders table, how many rows you have? 994, 994 rows. And when I go to region, how many regions are there? Means central, east, south, west. But my client is asking to create a report here. In the report, client is asking to show only one region data. Now, when I take any visual here, when I go and drag any column, it is showing the sales value for 4 regions or one region? All 4 regions. But I don't want to show all 4 regions for my client. I want to show what? Central. Now, I can apply the filter at Power View level. When you are in the report view, you are in which software? Power View. In report view, you have a concept called what? Filters. When you are in the report view, you have filters. These filters are related to which filters? Power View filters. In Power View filters, we can filter the data in this visual. I can just go and drag the region column. I can select which region. Now in the report, you are showing what data? Central. So you achieve your client requirement. But what is the problem in this is unnecessarily you are loading another 3 regions data. In the orders table, instead of having only central data, unnecessarily you are loading what? 3 more regions data, which will unnecessarily occupy the space. Not only that, when you save this report, when you publish this report, when you share the report with the client, when the client open this visual, first it will go to the orders table. From the orders table, it will pick 994 rows. For 994 rows, it will execute which filter condition? Region is central. Where the condition is true, only that rows it will do what? Sum. So taking the rows, applying the filters in the runtime, showing the data will take what? I said that these two disadvantages you will have when you filter the data in where? Power Query. If you do the filters in the Power Query, these two advantages you'll get. Let me show you how to filter the data in the Power Query, how to save the same result. This time I'm removing that in the Power View. I'm going to where now? Power Query. How to go to Power Query from here? Home tab, click on Transform Data. We need to filter the data in which table? Orders table. In Power Query, how to filter the data is go to the table, go to the column where you need to filter the data. Currently, I'm planning to filter the data in which column? Region. When I go here, so there is uh, uncheck this. Which region you want? Central. Just select OK. When I select OK, now you are seeing only central region data. When I go and click on close and apply into Power Pivot, how many regions data it will load? Only central data. If you go to now here, when I go and select orders table, how many rows are there? 2323. Previously 994. So instead of 994, 2323 rows is less or not? So it will save less space. When I go and check the region column, how many regions data will have now? Only central. Only central. When I go and take one visual, when I go and drag the sales, is it showing central sales or 4 region sales? Central sales. So this will, in this scenario, second scenario, you are saving the space in where? Power Pivot, and you are improving what? Report performance. Fine, guys. Let's see extensively for from now almost 1.5 hours. I'll talk about filters, how to filter the data in the Power Query. We'll discuss. So in Power Query, we can filter the data in 2 ways. In Power Query, filters is anywhere, any software, filters is important concept. In Power Query, we can filter the data in 2 ways. How many ways? 2 ways. What are the 2 ways we can filter the data is? One way is basic filtering. Second way is advanced filtering. Advanced filtering. Right. Let me show you what is that basic filtering and advanced filtering. What is that basic filtering and advanced filtering? So there are one column, let's say first scenario is I need to load only central region data. In order to load only central region data, we are going to region column. To apply the filter, you need to click on this down button. When I go to the down button, below the search bar, whatever the area you have, this area comes under basic filtering area. Text filters, and this options comes under advanced filtering area. There are sometimes you can achieve the requirement with what? Basic. Sometimes basic filtering will not help you. We need to try with what? Advanced filtering options. I'll discuss. When basic filtering will work is if a column have less distinct values, basic filtering will work. Region column contains how many distinct values? Central, east, south, west. Only how many distinct values? 4. When you have only less distinct values, then easily you can go and filter the data at what level? Basic. Look at here. Let's say I have an employee table, guys. One point you need to notice here is I'm trying to filter the data in the region column in the basic filtering section. I said that search bar and below the search bar comes under what?
वो हटाओ ना एक बार वो नीचे का बोल रही थी मैं अभी छोड़ दीजिए नहीं
Basic filtering. Okay. This section comes under basic filtering. In the basic filtering, you are seeing one warning message here. What is that? List may be incomplete. Now let's go to the EMP table. Let's try to filter the data in the job column. I have 6 types of job. But into the Power Pivot, I need to load only salesmen's. What job I need to load? Salesman. Again, you need to apply the filter at what level? Job. Go to the job. You have only 6 distinct values. Now, why it is not showing that warning message here? In orders table, when I try to filter the data in the region column, you see one warning message. What? List may be incomplete. When you are trying to filter the data in the job column, you are not seeing that warning message. What might be the reason? Huh? Limited? What? Limited rows means what? That limited rows. Hmm? Right. What might be the reason?
Some data might be missing, sir. I think
What is that?
it's not fetching total
Why
data.
it is not fetching? Yeah. Okay. Why it is not fetching? So what is the
It is
reason
not
is?
in top 1000
In
rows. It is
yesterday's
not in
class, I
top.
said that when you
It
bring
is
a
not
table
in
to the
top
Power
1000
Query,
rows.
initially it will bring how many rows? Only
Top 1000 rows.
1000 rows.
1000.
In the orders table, in the source, how many rows you have? 994 rows. Out of 994 rows, currently how many rows it got fetched? 1000 rows. Yes. Why it got fetched 1000 rows is the matter here. Power Query, how it will work means it will bring only what? 1000 rows. Now when I go on click on this region, it is giving the distinct regions from how many rows? Only first 1000 rows. In the source, you have more rows or not? Yes. In that more rows, you might have other regions or not? There are chances. There are chances. So that is the reason it is giving a message called what? List may be incomplete. Now when I go and click on load more, it will go and fetch all the data. From all the data, it will show what? Distinct values. I want to see distinct values from all the rows. What you need to do? Load more. Here, when I just go and click on load more, it will fetch all the 994 records. In 994 also you have what? 4 distinct regions only, right? So in EMP table, why it is not showing that warning messages? In the EMP table source also you have how many rows? 15. All the 15 rows you bought it here or not? In all the 15 rows you are showing what values? Distinct. So as there is no more rows in the source, that is the reason it is not showing that warning message. Okay, right. Now, so in order to load only central region data, here I can just go to region column. You don't need to go with advanced filtering now. You can just click on load more, uncheck, and which region you need to load, select that region, press OK. It is writing a filter condition called what? Region equal to central. You will have how many regions data now? Only central data. So you can get it using basic filtering. I removed that step, guys. Now tell me, I have an order date column. In order date column, I have 4 years data. In the order date, we have data starting from 3rd January 2014. From where we have the data? 3rd January 2014. And we have the data till what date means 30 December 2017. 30 December 2017. From 14 to where? 17. How many years data you have? 4 years data you have. When I go and click on close and apply, how many years data it will load into Power Pivot? All 4 years it will load. My client is asking to generate the reports only for 2017 data. Let's say an example. Even though in the source you have what? 4 years, in the reports they're asking to show only what? 2017 data. When I go and click on close and apply, by default it will show all the 4 years data. It will load. But you need to load only 1 year data. How can you load it? Can I do with basic filtering means? No. When I go to order date, in the order date, what are the distinct values you have? It will show. In the order date, when you have 4 years, 4 years, how many distinct values you will have maximum? 4 into 365. Each year will have 365 dates. Around how many dates you will get? 1500 dates you will get it, right? Around. So from 1500 dates going and selecting 2017 dates, is it possible? Not possible. This time you are not supposed to go with which filtering? Basic. When you are not able to get the requirement with basic, then we need to try with what? Advanced filtering. Now in order to load 2017 data, you can go to date filters. You can choose the right option here. When I go to date filters, this area comes under what? Advanced. Out of this advanced filtering option, which option will help us? We need to understand. This area we call it as what? Basic filtering, right? Fine, we'll talk about it. So one more point you need to notice here is, what we understand is basic filtering will work when we have what? Less distinct values. What? Less distinct values in the column. When you have more distinct values, we need to mandatorily go with what? Take an example. I have a customer name column. In the customer name column, I need to load only customers whose names are starting with A. Currently, we have customer names starting with A, B to Z. From where you have? A to Z you have. But while loading to the Power Pivot, I need to load only customer whose names are starting with what? A. Which one will help us? Can I do with basic filtering? No. Basic filtering have dozens of values. Go and selecting the values in the dozens of values will not possible. Then you need to go with what? Text filters, advanced filtering options. What you need to choose? Begins with what? A. When I go and select begins with A, when I press OK, it is showing only customers whose names are starting with what? A. Like this, when you have more distinct values, we can try with what? Advanced filtering options. Right. So one more point you need to know this is advanced filtering options will change based on the data type of the column. Customer name is what data type column? Text. When I go to advanced filtering options, what options you have? Equals, does not equals, begins with, does not begins with, ends with, does not ends with, contains, does not contains. These options are not same for number column. Go and check the number column. When I go to employee table, I want to filter the data on department number column. When I go to advanced filtering, is this option same? No. You have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between. These options are not there on which column? Text column. In the same way, when you go to date column, the options are completely different. Is it different or not? Advanced filtering options. Advanced filtering options will change based on the data type of the column. What we noticed here is advanced filtering options will change based on the data type of the columns. Advanced filtering options will change based on data type of the column. Columns. Right. So that is the reason what we will try to understand is what advanced filtering options we have in the text column, number column and date column separately we'll discuss. How to use them we'll discuss. First, we'll try to understand filtering the data on number column. As advanced filtering options are changing based on the data type of the column, we need to see for each data type what is the advanced filtering options you have. First, we'll try to understand what? Filtering number data type columns. Once after filtering the number data type columns, we'll discuss what? Filtering text data type columns. Once after filtering the text data type columns, we'll discuss about what? Filtering date data type columns. We'll have only 3 types of columns. What options we have, we'll see one by one. First, let's start with filtering the data on what? Number data type column. Fine. What options are there? We'll see. I have an employee table. Currently in the employee table, I have 4 department employees. What are the 4 department employees you have? 10, 20, 30 and 50. Into the Power Pivot, I need to load only 10th department employees. How many employees we have for 10th department? 3. Now when I go and click on close and apply, how many employees it will load? 15. All the rows it will load. But I want to load into Power Pivot only how many rows? 3 rows. That means which department employees I need to load? 10th. How to filter the data is basic or advanced? Basic. When you have less distinct values, uncheck, select 10, press OK. It is writing what? Department number equal to 10. One more point you need to understand is I'm removing this filter step. Whatever you can achieve with the basic filtering, you can achieve with the advanced filtering also. Whatever you can achieve with basic filtering, we can even achieve with what? Advanced filtering. Whatever you can achieve with advanced filtering, is it possible to achieve with basic filtering? No. So even you can stop using basic filtering. Everything you can achieve with what? Advanced filtering. Now tell me, using advanced filtering, how to load only 10th department employees? Go to which column? Department number. Go to where? Number filters. Which option I need to choose? Equals to what? 10. When I press OK, how many rows you are getting? 3. So whatever you can achieve with the basic filtering, we can achieve with what? Advanced filtering. Now let me tell you how the filters will work in the Power Query. I'm removing that step one more time. How these filters will work in the Power Query is important. Go to the number filters, equals to, you are writing a filter condition called what? 10. Whatever the filter condition you are going to write in the Power Query, that filter condition will check for every row in the table. That filter condition will check for every row in the table. For the rows where the filter condition is true, it will keep. For the rows where the filter condition is false, it will filter. What happens? Whatever the filter condition you are writing here, it will check for what? Every row in the table. Currently, how many rows you have? 15 rows. This filter condition will check for how many rows? 15 rows. Wherever the filter condition is becoming true, only it will keep that rows in the Power Query and it will load that rows into the Power Pivot. Wherever the filter condition is becoming false, what it will do? It will filter the data. It will filter the data. So take first row. For the first row, what is the department number? Department number 10 will come here. 10 equals to 10. True or false? True. True means it will keep the records. For second row also it will keep the record. Third row also it will keep the record. Take fourth row. What is the department number you'll get? 20. 20 equals to 10. False. When it is false, what happens? It will filter. It will do what? Filter. So for remaining all the rows, the filter condition is what? False. How many rows the filter condition is true? 3 rows. When I press OK, it is showing how many rows? 3 rows. Right? That's what, guys. Remember, whatever the filter condition you are going to write in the Power Query, it will check for every row in the table. For the rows where the filter condition is true, it will keep it. For the rows where the filter condition is false, it will filter it. Right. So we understand equals to, guys. Let me give another example. I have a salary column. I need to load only the employees whose salaries are 3,000. Currently, I have 15 employees. I don't want to load all the 15 employees. Into the Power Pivot, I need to load only the employees whose salaries are 3,000. How many employees have salaries as 3,000? 1, 2. 1, 2. I need to load only the 2 employees. I don't want to go with basic filtering. I need to get the same result with advanced filtering. What is that? Number filters equals to 3,000. When I write this filter condition, for how many rows this filter condition is becoming true? Only 2 rows. That is the reason when I press OK, you will get what? Only the 2 rows. Let's say I'm removing the filter. To make it clear, I'm removing it all the time. This time my requirement is I need to load the rows into the Power Pivot where salary is other than 3,000. I need to load all the employees into the Power Pivot whose salaries is not equal to what? 3,000. How many employees have salaries other than 3,000? 13. 13 employees. I need to load that 13 employees now. How to load that another 13 employees is go to where? Number filters does not equals to 3,000. Here also same story, guys. It will check this filter condition for every row. Where the filter condition is becoming true, it will keep it. Where the filter condition is becoming false, filter it. Here also same. When I go and press OK, how many rows the filter condition is becoming true this time? 13 rows. Okay. Remove that filter. Now, uh, to explain the filters in the much better way, I'll sort the data in the salary column in ascending order. Currently, the salaries are not in the proper order. To just understand the filter concept in the better way, I'll just go on. So it is not mandatory that to apply the filters, you need to sort the data. Why we are sorting the data in the employee table now is just for understanding purpose. Now I want to sort the employees who is taking least salary first and highest salary last. How to show employees who is taking least salary first is select the salary column, go to the home tab. There is something called what here? Sort. You have sort ascending or descending. First one is ascending, second one is descending. Ascending means small to big, lowest to highest. Descending means highest to lowest. I want to show the employee who is taking lowest salary first. Currently, what is the first employee you have? Clerk. I don't want clerk. I want to show the employee who is taking least salary first. What I can do is select the salary column, click on what? Now, what is the salary you are having? 800. Previously, you are seeing clerk there. Now, Smith. Right. Just to understand the data, we are sorting the data here. Let's say I need to load into the Power Pivot only the employees whose salary is less than 3000 guys. I want to load the employees whose salaries is less than what? 3000. Out of 15 employees, how many employees have salaries less than 3000? 11 employees. I need to load that 11 employees. How to load that 11 employees? Go to salary column. Which filters? Number filters. There is an option called what? Less than what? Go and give the 3000. When I give less than 3000, again this filter condition will check for what? Every row. For the rows where the condition is true, it will keep it. For the rows where the condition is false, it will filter it. When I go and press OK, how many rows the filter condition is becoming true? 11 rows. Let's say this time I need to load only the employees whose salaries are less than or equal to 3000. Less than or equal to 3000. Less than or equal to 3000. How many employees are there? 13 employees. I need to load the 13 employees. Go to where? Salary, number filters. What this time? Less than or equal to what? 3000. When I press OK, this time it is loading how many employees? 13 employees. I'm removing the filter one more time. I need to load the employees only whose salaries are greater than 3000. How many employees? 2 employees. How to load only the 2 employees who is greater than 3000? Number filters. This time I can choose what? Greater than, what is that? 3000. Self-explanatory options. Only 2 employees. Let's say I need to load the employees whose salaries are greater than or equal to 3000. How many employees? 4. I want to load that 4 employees. You can just go and select number filters greater than or equal to 3000 and it can load that 4 employees. Self-explanatory options and simple options. Right. So before I go and discuss about between, we discussed equal to, does not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Next one is what? Between. Before we go and discuss between, there are sometimes to achieve the requirement, we need to write more than one condition. There are sometimes to achieve the requirement, we need to write condition 1 and condition 2. Two conditions we need to write. Wherever we need to write two conditions, mandatorily you need to choose either under logical function or either or. Wherever you come across in any software, whenever we need to write two conditions, either we need to go and choose under logical function or either we need to go and choose or logical function. Sometimes under logical function will give you a requirement, sometimes or logical function will give you a requirement. Important, just try to understand. So my requirement is load the employees whose department number is 10 as well as 20. Load the employees whose department number is 10 as well as what? 20. That means what is the requirement is in the employee table, 10th department, let me remove this sorting. 10th department, how many employees are there? 20th department, how many employees are there? 5. 3 plus 5, I need to load how many employees? 8. Previously, to load only 10th department employees, go to the number filters equals to, you return what? 10. When you press OK, you are able to load what? 3 employees. This time, not only one condition, this time two conditions. First condition is what? Department number equal to 10. Second condition is what? Department number equal to 20. Now here question is, okay, simple, two conditions. When you are writing two conditions, you need to choose either under or. Now tell me under or. Under or here. Under or. And is wrong. You need to go with what? Or. So if and is not there, R is the answer, right? Hmm. Right. Let's see when to use and when to use or. So here currently If you use and, you will not get it. Look at here. I want to write two conditions. Go to number filters. Equals to first condition is what? 10. You are choosing and. Lot of people said the answer is what? Whenever you are writing first condition and second condition, between the two conditions, you need to choose what? Either and or. So you are choosing equals to 20 and you are asking to choose and. When I press OK, is it showing 8 employees? No. And will not give. Why and is not giving? Let's say go and change it to or, you'll get expected result. How many employees you are getting? 8. 10th department and 20th department, right? Or it is giving the result and is not giving the result. What is the reason? Let's see what is the reason. How and logical function will work, how or logical function will work. Let me quickly tell you. Condition 1 is there, condition 2 is there, and result. First I'll explain result for or logical function. In how or logical function will work, I'll tell you with two conditions. In or logical function, when you write two conditions, how it will work is, what are the possible scenarios you will get when you write two conditions is, there are scenarios where both the conditions might become true. First scenario is what? Both the conditions will become true. Or will return what? True. So there are scenarios, first condition might become true, second condition might become what? False. What you will get in the or logical function? True, false? True. In or logical function, true, false will return what? True. So there are third scenario, first condition might become false. First condition might become what? False. Second condition might become what? True. What our logical function will do? True. Our logical function will give true even if one condition is true. The last scenario, last probability will be what? False. Both the conditions might become what? False. What is the result? False. Right? This is how our logical function will work. But when it comes to AND logical function, the way it behaves is different, guys. Let me show you. In now between the same two conditions, we are taking what? AND logical function. AND logical function will behave in a different way. I'm just removing them. In AND logical function, true will return what? True. True false will return what? False. In AND logical function, when one condition is true, another condition is false, it will return false. In AND logical function, only it will return true where? If both the conditions are true. False true, it will return what? Again false. False it will return what? False. Right. So keep in mind this two and you can understand now easily. Now we are going and writing the filter conditions, guys. You said that you asked to use and, right? Why and is not giving the result? Let me show you. Equals to, you are writing department number equal to 10 and department number equals to what? 20. You are writing it. Okay, when I write two conditions, these two conditions will check for every row. For the first row, what is the department number? 10. 10 will come here. 10 equals to 10, condition true or false? True. 10 equals to 20, condition true or false? False. So you taken what now? And true false will return what? False. When it return false, what happens? It will filter. But you need this employee, right? 10th department employee, you need it. But if you go and choose and, what is happening? Filtering. It is filtering. Take this row also. 20 will come here. 20 equals to 10. False. 20 equals to 20. True. False true in and. False. False means what? Filter. Do you want this 20th department employees or you want to filter? We need it, right? We are not supposed to filter. Then can you go with and? No, you need to go with what? Or. So I said that even when you write two conditions, the two conditions will check for every row. You need to first decide whether when both the conditions are becoming true, you need to show it. Or if any one condition is becoming true, you need to show it. Tell me, out of these two conditions, if a row satisfied both the conditions, you need to show it. Or if any one condition it is satisfying, you need to show it. What is your requirement? So you return two conditions. This row need to satisfy both the conditions or only one condition? Only one condition. Then what you need to go with? Or. So when you need to go with and will give only true in where? Both conditions are true. Remaining all the cases, it will give what? False. It will filter. Right. But when it comes to R, uh, if even one condition is becoming true, what it will return? True, it will keep it. So this time our requirement is, my requirement is a row need to satisfy any one of the condition. Then I need to show it. And will not the right option for me. What is that? Or when I take R now check it. Check for first row. First row, what you will get here? 10. 10 equals to 10. True. 10 equals to 20. False. True, false in the OR logical function. True. True means it will show the record. Take the fourth row. You'll get what? 20. 20 equals to 10. False. 20 equals to 20. True. One false, another true in R. True. You'll get record or not? Yes. Take this row. Department number is what here? 30 equals to 10. False. 30 equals to 20. False. When both are false. False. What it will do? Filter. So first 8 rows you'll get. Remaining rows it will filter. Right? So keep in mind, whatever the two conditions you are writing, you need to decide first. A row need to satisfy any one condition, or a row need to satisfy both the condition. If a row need to satisfy any one condition, what logical function? Or if a row need to satisfy both the condition, what logical function? And let me write that point. If a row need to satisfy any one condition, need to satisfy any one condition, use what function? Or logical function. If a row need to satisfy, I will give a scenario for AND also now. So this requirement can be achieved with what? This requirement can be achieved with what? Or I'll give a requirement for AND also. If a row need to satisfy both the conditions, if a row need to satisfy both conditions, then which logical function? Then AND logical function. Let's say I want to load the employees whose salaries are between 1000 and 3000. I'm removing this step. The next requirement is I'll just go and sort the data in ascending order, salary column. I need to load the employees whose salaries are between 1000 and 3000. Between 1000 and 3000, how many employees are there is? I need to load the employees whose salaries are between 1000 and 3000. How many employees are there? 10 employees. 1000 and 3000 means greater than or equal to what? 1000 less than or equal to what? 3000. I need to load the employees between 1000 and what? 3000. Load the employees between 1000 and 3000 means the employee salary should start from where? Greater than or equal to 1000 and less than or equal to 3000. That is the requirement. So load the employees where salary is between 1000 and what? 3000. What is the meaning salaries between 1000 and 3000 means? Salaries between 1000 and 3000 means salary greater than or equal to 1000 and salary less than or equal to 3000. Here also you need to write two conditions, right? Now go and write it. So if you go to salary column, you need to get salary between. Go to where? Number filters. There is something called what? Between. When you go with between means salary greater than or equal to less than or equal to. So greater than or equal to what you need to write? 1000. Less than or equal to what you need to write? 3000. Whenever we are writing two conditions, you need to go and carefully choose either AND logical function or what? Or logical function. Now tell me, your requirement is first you need to decide. If you write two conditions, the two conditions will check for every row. Whether if both the conditions when become true, you need to show the record, or out of these two conditions, if any one condition is becoming true, you need to show the record. I written already two scenarios. First scenario is what? If a row need to satisfy any one condition, use what? Or logical function. If a row need to satisfy both the condition, what? And logical function. Tell me, here it need to satisfy both are single. Both. Must and should, their salary should be greater than or equal to 1000, and it should be less than or equal to 3000. Both the conditions need to satisfy. When I go and choose or, you will not get expected results, guys. When I go and press, how many records you are getting? 15. But we don't want 15 records. Between that, how many employees are there? Only 11 employees. Why you are getting 15 records now? Out of these two conditions, one of the condition will satisfy. Every row will satisfy one of the condition. In our logical function, even one condition is satisfying, it will show the record or not. If you look at here, you are taking 800 here. 800, is it greater than or equal to 1000 means false. Is it less than or equal to 3000 means true. What it will return? True. Or will return true. Then you will get this. Do you want this? No. You need to go with what now? And so and means when I go and click on end, what it will do this time? Again, it will check this condition for every row. 800 will get here. 800, is it greater than or equal to 1000? False. 800, is it less than 3000? True. You are using this time what? And false true. In and what it will return? False. False means what? Filter. You will not get this 800. When I press OK, 800 will not get. Now go to 1100. 1100 will get here. Tell me 1100, is it greater than or equal to 1000? True. Is it less than 3000? True. And means what? True. You'll get this record or not? Yes. Till where both the conditions will become true. Till this number it will become both the condition true. When 3000 is getting here, 3000, is it greater than or equal to 1000? True. Is it less than or equal to 3000? True. You'll get what? True. This till here, the rows will satisfy both the conditions. Take this row, 5000. So 5000, is it greater than or equal to 1000? True. 5000, is it less than 3000? False. True, false in unlogical function. False. These two rows will get false. It will filter. When I press OK, how many records you are getting? 11. You are seeing only the employees whose salaries are between what? 1000 and 3000. So fine. Like this, sometimes to achieve the requirement, and logical function might help us. Sometimes to achieve the requirement, or logical function might help us. In tomorrow's class also, I'll give some more examples about and or. Today I given couple of examples. Tomorrow's class also will talk about filters only. I'll give some more examples in tomorrow's class. I'll stop here for today. We'll go with some questions now.